Yo, what's poppin'? J.E. Moneybags, Anthony Curtis. Salute from Alabama. Salute to Alabama in the building. VOE Stretch Money. Merrick in the building. That's what's poppin'. CK to lay his old ass down, man. Free Dream Brim. Salute. Facts. Hollis Queens in the building. All right. Hazardous Hayes JBX. What's poppin', bro? I see you. All right. Hit my DM on him, Hazard. Flames Kush, what's poppin'? Peter Lopez. Yeah, I got the Spartans in the building. That's a fact. I see him. I see the Spartans in the building. Matter of fact, before we start, you know what I'm saying? Before we start. Free my boy Dick Wolf. I just heard from Dick Wolf. Free Dick Wolf from the Apes. Dick Wolf sent us a shout out to all the apes in the building. Okay. Facts. I'm saying they been hitting me up with a lot of beats. I thought I debuted this real quick before we start. Live from the 718. What's poppin'? The Spartans, the Colts up in here too. New York, what's poppin'? Banc 187, salute. SQ New York. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I think he's. Hey, yo, where he at? Yo, VOA Stretch. Didn't you sent me a joint, right? Hold up. I got you right now. Hey, yo, this is VOE Stretch. This his joint right here. This shit was tight.
VOE, Stretch Money, Westside America's my home. This is my world. Haha. Philly voice, nigga. Ace first. All of my life, I've been dealing with the stress and the strength. Ain't realizing until I realize the West is my life. The brown rag, either side, nigga, the left or the right. I make sure that I'm repping it right. I told bulls, keep that weapon held tight. These niggas fake white wrestling, right? I do it big like Texas tonight. The West Side bad days make the best of our night. We all the fucking building, y'all the exit, alright? I had a lot of wants, hopes, and needs, and even more wishes. Pots, plates, spoons, and forks, but they not all dishes. Chuck, listen, you can get jumped like 6-4 switches, I ain't kidding. My niggas wigging like ball bitches, boy, listen. Nigga,
send to my DM, GT Torres, 956.
I ain't Captain Gun blasting.
Lotto 978, what's poppin'?
They ain't waiting soon as the season get hot, shit, no? So I hope you never hesitate. You better strap a 4 times, homie. Like some retro 8s, I need a bitch with hella cake. Plan it out in every state. I don't give a fuck if her face is like Ella May. Got a team scaring shit like the TS. You can catch this 9, no GS. And I do it wild, wild big. 15x, the bad money always come way before sweet sex. Hey, yo, old school fila. Miss me with the beeper. She trying to get pizza. Long line margaritas. Niggas, some are too hot. So we strap with 2 heaters. In the Jag 2-seater. Trying to crash 2 divas. Let's ride. RIP stack squad up. Hit the homie Scar Child. He gon' leave you scarred up. That is all we ever had. Homie, that was all up. Homie, part the windows, my nigga. Cause I'm barred up. Deuce the point, let go the dice. I know it's the best, so know you ain't gon' roll it twice. When you order Henny, baby, tell the tend to hold the ice. Fuck it, then I make a breeze. What we call the coldest night. I live the coldest life, trying to duck the let it game. Some niggas gon' hustle, some of us gon' let it bang. One thing that will never change, even when the cheddar came. We all brown rag and we swaggin', screaming American. Since a young kid, I had drive, no GMC. Youngin' driving with no L's like
Brooklyn Nets, DTP, NYB.
Chill, crazy, let me speak. Queen's the one to blame for the motherfucking TNT. I sold midget,
I see you. I think like quick all the time.
A nigga
That's
try
that
to
half glass shit.
The answers always no. If they ask you, are you with it? That's facts. Cause I be with some no niggas, you be with some no niggas. Never let go niggas. You be strapping bow letters, pop it like some cold wheelers. We don't break your shit up. We some fucking home records. That's facts. Scared of what, nigga? Scared of who? Your whole squad too fucking ass. Y'all parent move. I be high as a skydiver with no parachute. I cannot be scared of a nigga. If he's scared to shoot you, terrible. I'm terrible.
233rd Merritt Boulevard, L-Gang.
Fine wine, homie, I'm Edison. I'm bigger than the room holding that motherfucking elephant. Everything about you times 2 is irrelevant. Merrick shit, nigga. Gangs up, nigga.
A60, that's a fact.
Deuce block, nigga. That's where we from. You heard? Yo, Money Zoe, what's up, nigga? Welcome Braves, nigga. City with the 50. Yo, Cuddy, I see you in the cut, homeboy.
What's that like button on your way in?
I'll let you, nigga. Ace first.
What? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had to play that. He sent me the joint, I think it was yesterday. And I wanted to play it. I didn't get to play it. So if you got a track and you want to get airplay, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to it. If it's hot, I'll play it. I ain't got no problem playing it. Jared McCaskill, what's poppin'? Ain't see you in a minute, man. Where you been at? Yeah. I see some old Spartans coming up in here tonight. But yeah, today we going to the law library real quick. Cause so the thing about they talking about SHOTTI want to appeal his sentence. So what I did was, I looked at a couple of other blogs and podcasts, and I was checking out the information that they had. And I saw some documents and stuff, but I didn't see enough where I can see like the potential of his sentence being overturned. I heard certain information, but not knocking anybody. We gotta know if this information is 100% or not. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I said, I'm gonna do a law library lesson a day on appeals, pleas and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? VOE Stretch Money, Westside, Merrick A and QNC. Facts. I just had you on just now. That joint was tight. Facts. So where he's gonna have what with the options that SHOTTI has. Now, I don't really want to relate it. I don't really want to relate it to SHOTTI's situation because I can only be surmising. Like I don't have the documents in front of me to be able to shepherdize and see the loopholes. Free SHOTTI as a fact. But the questions that's in my mind is the type of plea that he pled to. Why? Because there's different types of pleas. You got pleas where you allocate to the facts, and you got pleas where you basically plead to the charge, like it's a no contest. So I'm not really sure what was said in the plea to be able to distinguish if whether it was it was allocated to the facts or it was allocated to the charge. Yeah, you got a global plea also. Yeah, it's a fact. But the main ones that I'm talking about is the facts and to the charge. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, for example, his lawyer, they say recused himself. And that's very rare in the feds. It's very rare that you see a lawyer who will recuse himself against. Basically, a lawyer is not going to want to take himself off the case because then he lose money. I had a situation like that where I had a lawyer who, all she kept talking about is pleas and you can't win and this, that, and the third. And we was going back and forth. And then I was like, yo, you either going to take yourself off or I'm going to ask the court to take you off. And she came to court and she basically was like, I'm taking myself off the case because me and the client are having a conflict of interest and it's irreconcilable. Now, when they say it's irreconcilable, it's mean because there's no meeting in between. You're one side, he is on the other side. Y'all divert in strategy. You know what I'm saying? Facts, I got you, baby boy. So the thing about it, depending on what his plea was. So now it's over. The judgment is in. And you ascertain evidence. First of all, let me tell you, let me go back. Let me give you a historical concept of what happens to people after they get sentenced and they go in the facilities. So he's in the Fed, so he probably either MCC or MDC. Now what happens is that a person may not know the advantages they got when certain information is given to them. For example, there are certain times where you're caught in the dead wrong. You really can't do nothing. So what you got to do is plead. Plea means you just holding down whatever you did and you keeping it moving. You know what I'm saying? Not a 501k or the other stuff. That's when you snitch. You know what I'm saying? So if you're taking a plea, you know what I'm saying, you're going to take the plea and you're going to keep it moving without implicating anybody else. Now, in certain cases, when you take the plea, and it happens a lot in the feds, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a fact. Manny, Mr. Brown 5'9", that's exactly where he at. Somebody's on point there. Yeah, so when you plea, unless There's three ways, and for example, when you plea and you take it, oh, hold up, I moved too fast. So when you go inside these facilities, you're gonna have these what's called these fake jailhouse lawyers. And I'm gonna show you what a fake jailhouse lawyer is. He knows the basics. He knows how to look up cases. He knows how to make an argument and that, and the third. But every time you go and you're doing your law library work, he's around there and he's always the one that's saying, well, this is a loophole here or this is a loophole there. And then what happens, you don't know nothing because your lawyer was the person that was doing the talking and the strategizing, and you're listening to this dude and he sounds like he's smart, and next thing you know, he's just filling you with mad garbage. Next thing you know, he's going to ask you to pay him a little bit of bread too. Shout out NYC. I appreciate you, bro. He says, stay strong and positive, big bro. We support you. I appreciate you, NYC. Shout out NYC in the building. So what happens is when you go in there, these dudes start telling you all this stuff, and then you start to second guess the things that happen. So when you go in there, you got to be careful of those type of dudes. Another thing that gets people is once they get sentenced and they see that time and they start late, it affects them more than a person who started early. Because the person that started early, he's going to look at it like, yo, I got time. You know, I got time. You know what I mean? I'll still be young when I get out. You know what I'm saying? I'll still be young when I get out. You know what I mean? And he's just going to hold that time on his back. But when you're starting late, you ain't go through the DFY, the Sparfords, the Crossroads, the Industries, the Goshens, the Harlem Valleys. You didn't go through all that. I mean, because you got what you call a street dude that's doing street things. But there's some street dudes that don't get caught or don't go to jail until later on when they already, you know, like up there in the 20s. You see what I'm saying? You start late. So now you're coming in and it's hitting you hard. And that makes you second guess things too. So a lot of times when your person changes their mind, the factors be their surroundings sometimes. Sometimes you go in your cell and you look around and you say to yourself, man, I can't believe this dude did what he did, told on me. I can't believe that I'm facing all this time. And I was just living. I was just doing my thing. This is not me. Because one thing about the feds, and the state is like that too, but they try to break your spirit. They try to break your spirit by making you think that you got no wins. And what happens is that there's people that will come around you that will open the door, but later on he's gonna be like, "Yo, put $100 in my account." Good looking, Brad Hauser. Brad Hauser in the building. You see what I'm saying? So you got to watch these people because they'll misguide you, mislead you. And then you start chasing dragons. You know, once you plead guilty, it's hard to take your plea back. Because what happens, oh yeah, natural active, I got you natural active too. Because what happens is you only could take it back for 3 reasons. One is coercion. And you will have to prove that you was coerced into taking that plea by your lawyer. Second is if you was under the influence. You will have to prove that when you went to court on the day of the plea, you were under the influence, so you didn't really understand what was going on. and you said whatever you said. Basically allocated. And the third one be that you newly discovered evidence that if were presented during the case could have changed the outcome of the case. So you got avenues. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got avenues. But, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, it's an uphill battle. Because first, you don't want to exhaust your 2255. Your 2255 is a collateral attack. You can't put in a 2255 until you have already went through your direct appeal and all the other stuff. So here's how the process goes. After your sentence, they're going to give you what's called a 30-day notice where you can file an appeal. You got 30 days to send that notice in. Then they give you an appeal number, file number. Then they give you an appellate lawyer. Then that appellate lawyer contacts you, and you and that appellate lawyer, y'all do your thing. Me, I didn't use no lawyer. I didn't trust no lawyer. So every time they kept giving me a lawyer, I kept firing them. I fired a total of 7 lawyers. Every time they gave me a lawyer, he talking all that hopeless stuff, get out of here. There was a lawyer one time that when I went there, I went to shake his hand. He looked at my hand like if I had syrup on it or something. I fired him right away. We didn't even talk. You know, so those are the reasons that you got. And if you can jeopardize it yourself, especially with the Second Circuit, or you know, should I say the Eastern District? You know what I'm saying? Because they in the Eastern District. So a lot of things, like I said, is once you allocate to the facts of the case, it's very hard for you to take it back. Now, I heard many things. I heard about conflict of interest. You know, I heard about a lot of things. What happens is this. This is how it goes. If during the case you see that your lawyer, facts, New York, usually what happens is, you know, when the case, you get the lawyer gets the case, the lawyer comes, he speaks to you, and he tells you his opinion on the case. If you're not on top of your game, then you're not knowing really what's going on. He does the whole work. See what I'm saying? Now what happens is now you're blind. You see, let me tell you what I had to do to get my paperwork from my lawyer. They didn't want to give me the paperwork because they saw where I was going. So one day I played a trick on them. When I went down on a visit, I brought a stack of copying paper from the copying machine. I opened up the drawer, took a bunch of white blank paper, closed the drawer. I put it in a manila envelope. I went downstairs to go talk to the lawyer. He brought the whole case file. Right? So when he brought the whole case file, he had to use the bathroom. He got up to use the bathroom. I took the white copying paper and I took my file from his folder and I switched it around. I had the whole case file in my folder. He had white blank paper because that's the stuff that they wasn't letting me get. So next thing what I did was when he came back from the bathroom, I said, yo, man, I'm not feeling too good. I feel like throwing up. I got to go back. Can we do this visit another time? He said, yeah, I'll come back another time. I said, yo, I appreciate you, man. I took my folder, went and got strip search, Went upstairs with it. That's a wrap. He ain't getting that. That's mine now. So I started to go through the facts myself. And when he figured out that I did this, I pulled a fast one on, then, when I called him, he was like, yo, listen, you can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm your lawyer, this and this, that. I said, no, I'm about to fire you. So before I fire you, I need to have the stuff that you got because they're going to give me a hassle for me to get it. And that's how I got my file. And then I started looking and I started seeing the loopholes. And then I started formulating, I started being on the computer. Because the one thing you don't want to do when you're in the feds is deal with other people. You ain't got time for them. They're detrimental towards your freedom and they're detrimental towards your growth. So if they either or, you don't want to mess with them. Salute Gil Soto. Hit me up in the Cash App. Salute Gil Soto. I appreciate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the two things you're supposed to do is you're supposed to study your case to a T. So that means you got to go on the Lexus. You got to shepherdize all the cases that relate to your case and find the loophole. You see what I'm saying? Me, what I did, I didn't plead. I went straight to trial. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to trial, your doors stay open, which means that you got more options. By me taking my case to trial, I gave myself a lot more options. If I would have pled, I'm taking away my options. Now, in the case like, for example, in the case like SHOTTI's case, well, he had to allocate to certain facts. I can see why the lawyer's recusing himself because the lawyer is saying that he's opening the can of worms. And this is one thing, if SHOTTI's peoples is up here and they listening, they need to tell him that he got to be careful because, he kind of got it sweet. I'm keeping it real. He kind of got it sweet. If he goes and opens the door, then they're going to come with more stuff, and then that's going to cause him to face greater time. You see what I'm saying? I actually know that judge that he has. His name is Paul Engelmeyer. He's an on-the-book type of judge. And he got a sweet deal from that judge. Paul Engelmeyer is known as a on-the-book, stiff type of dude. I'm telling you, he's on it. That judge ain't no joke. But guess what? He gave him a sweet deal. And now, not referring to SHOTTI, referring to people in general. When you're in a situation and you got a dude telling, then your back is against the wall because his telling, his cooperation, they're going to make those aggregating factors. For those who don't know what aggregating factor means, an aggregating factor is when they have factors or evidence that makes it more likely that you're guilty of the charges. And in the feds, hearsay is admissible. It ain't like the state where they got to prove beyond the preponderance of the evidence. In the feds, hearsay evidence is admissible. So because hearsay evidence is admissible, you got to look at that. Hearsay, remember, hearsay is, you can't say that hearsay is even a fact. hearsay could be wrong. And a lot of times hearsay is wrong. But it's admissible in the feds. So when you're back against the wall, you got a dude snitching on you. You basically you ain't got no choice but to hold what you can down, because at the end of the day, the only way you're gonna get anything lesser is if you participate with the cooperating witness. And then that's gonna make you what? So you might see a loophole, but remember, you can't think offensively. You gotta think defensively. You gotta think like them. Like you can't beat your enemy if you only think of your enemy as minute to your thoughts, to your ways, to your abilities. You got to remember, they got thoughts, they got ways and abilities too. So you got to know what type. It's like if you're playing chess, you need to know what moves are available to your opponent and how you're going to counter those. If you only think about moving your piece, salute, Kev. Salute, bro. Killer Kev in the building. You can't just think offensively. You got to think defensively. And that's like the other day when we was talking about the top 5 defensive fighters of all time. These are fighters that even though they had an offense, their defense carried them longer. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at the factors. That's why I can't make a rational choice in regards to SHOTTI's case, because I haven't seen any documents. Everything is what I see on the internet, stuff like that, and not knocking anybody, but you don't know what you're hearing. You don't know what you're seeing. See what I'm saying? But the first thing he's going to go through is he's going to go through what's called a direct appeal. After the direct appeal, if he loses that, and this is one thing that a lot of people don't know, when you lose your direct appeal, you got 15 days from the day that you lose your direct appeal to put in what's called a rehearing en banc. Now, when you put a rehearing en banc, your direct appeal is going to go to 3 judges of the district where you're at. So if you're in the Eastern District, 3 judges out of the how many they have are going to see your case. And between them 3, they're going to decide. Like they take a vote, 2-1, 3-0. When you do the how you say it? When you do the what you call it? When you do the appeal, the rehearing en banc, you got 15 days to submit it in. You got 15 days to submit it in. Or that's it. Your next is going to be the top dog, Court of Appeals. And then, because those are your directs. Then after that, you got what's called collateral attacks. Now, everybody knows that when it comes to ineffective assistance, if you're claiming ineffective assistance, it has to meet the threshold of Strickland versus Washington. For those who don't know what Strickland versus Washington is, Strickland versus Washington is the the landmark case for when you challenging your lawyer and his strategy, and you feel that he did you wrong. Now, I just wanted to read So here's what they say on Strickland versus Washington. Strickland versus Washington, 466, United States, 668. This case is from 1984. Was a landmark Supreme Court case that established the standard for determining when a criminal defendant's Sixth Amendment right to counsel is violated by that counsel's inadequate performance. So, in this case here, they went against, they said the appropriate standard for ineffective assistance of counsel requires both that the defense attorney was objectively deficient and that there was a reasonably probability that a competent attorney would have led to a different outcome. Charged with capital murder in Florida, David Washington pled guilty and told the judge that he was under extreme stress at the time because of his inability to support his family. The judge sounded sympathetic, but Washington's defense counsel did not collect character evidence or request a psychiatric examination before the sentencing hearing. He made this decision so that the prosecution could not cross-examine Washington and use its own psychiatric report. He also did not seek a pre-sentence report because he wanted to reduce the possibility that Washington's criminal record could be introduced. Since this was related to an aggregating factor that would make the death penalty more likely. I remember I spoke about that earlier. Right? And when there's a threshold you got to meet in order for you to be able to claim ineffective assistance of counsel. There's a threshold that you got to meet. And that threshold, I said, is an uphill battle. Now watch this. After the sentencing hearing, the trial judge found that the death penalty was appropriate because of the lack of mitigating factors and presence of several aggregating factors. So this man got the death penalty, but the lawyer didn't present mitigating factors. What the judge saw was the aggregating factors. Now, we already know that mitigating factors help you, aggregating factors defame you, defamate you. So now what happened was, when the judge went to make a decision, the judge is like, man, I can only make my decision on what I see, and everything that I see is aggregating factors. The lawyer hasn't made a case that challenged these factors. Therefore, I'm going to have to give him the death penalty. Moving on, they said, after the sentencing hearing, the trial judge found that the death penalty is appropriate because of the lack of mitigating factors and the presence of several aggregating factors. Once the sentence was affirmed by the Florida Supreme Court, Washington sought to argue that he had received ineffective assistance of counsel based on the decisions by his lawyer outlined above. He was denied at trial level and by the state Supreme Court, so he then sought habeas corpus relief in federal court. However, the district court found that the lawyer's decision, which they agreed were mistaken, did not materially affect the outcome in the case. In other words, there was no reason to think that Washington would not have received the death penalty if the lawyer had taken more steps in collecting evidence. See that? So that was the ruling that he made, even though he was encouraged by aggregating factors. Afterwards, they said counsel cannot be ineffective unless mistakes were so objectively serious that they violated the defendant's right to a fair trial by causing a breakdown in adversarial process. In measuring whether a lawyer's action met the standard of objective deficiency, the majority noted the ethical duties within the legal profession, such as zealous advocacy without conflicts of interest. However, it is also observed that while counsel must comply with all those rules, they are not the limit of what can be expected. So, to break it down is like this. When you have appellate grounds, for example, and the appellate grounds is based upon ineffective assistance of counsel, what the appellate court does is they're going to get the record and they're going to see what counsel, for example, all the pre-hearing motions that were submitted by the counsel, all the arguments that was made by the counsel. Now, if you later on develop an argument or figure out an argument later on that counsel didn't argue, then you got to see the merit of that argument. You got to make sure that that argument that you're about to present in response to the decision that was made because of ineffective assistance of counsel is potent. They want to make sure, and believe me, they're going to make sure that what you're trying to say is of such validity that they got to change the decision and they got to relook at what happened. All this, you know what I'm saying? All this, I'm going to tell you right now, all this comes afterwards. Because what happens is that the appellate court can say, we don't have enough information to make a decision on that. They did it with mine. I filed 7 lawyers. So I have credible grounds for ineffective assistance of counsel, but at the end of the day, I represented myself. So who I'm going to say? I'm ineffective on myself? You see what I'm saying? But I caught him by surprise when I put a rehearing in Banc. And when I put the rehearing in Banc, instead of 3 judges, now you got all the judges of the district. That means all the judges are going to look at it. You know what I'm saying? They all going to look at it. Now what happens is your vote can change. So instead of it being 3-0, it might turn out like what happened with me, 6-7. 13 judges. At first, I was 3-0, lost. Next thing, hearing in Banc, 13 judges, 6-7. You see what I'm saying? So, in a situation where you got somebody telling your case is high profile, and they got more things that they can bring, but they don't need to because they saying, y'all better just stand down, hold this down, and be lucky that we ain't slaying you and keep it moving. But you can open a can of worms if you don't see that. Because sometimes the law has loopholes. But are you strategic and have the ability to profess those loopholes in a way where it gets you to win? Punch that like button on the way in. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be mindful that you might have got away with more than you got hit with. And then that's when you got to make that decision and say, you know what? I got to pull back and just eat this and do the time. Because now your battle is not with the courts no more. Your battle is going to be with the people in the inside now. Your battle is going to be with who you surround yourself with and what do you do with your time. Because you're probably going to say, if I was smarter, I probably wouldn't have made some of the mistakes that I made. So now while I'm here, I might also take advantage of my time and educate myself and correct my mistakes so that I don't have to do this no more. Because what happens is, I ain't gonna lie, what happens is some dudes go in there, they want to hang with the crowd, they want to run around some fake rah-rah stuff, and they only make their time worse. For example, if you sentence 36 to 47 months, I believe, or you do, let's say you sentence 188 months, 15 years. So if you sentence 188 months, out of that, you're going to do about 150. So out of 15, you about to do like maybe 12. You could actually do 11. You never know. It depends on the programs you take and your eligibility level. Because that's the way you got to think now. You got to think outside the box. For example, you know, a lot of people misconstrue things. A lot of people lie. And, you know, one thing brothers got to be careful when they're going in them feds is that, one thing about the feds, they got a lot of con artists. A lot of con artist type dudes in there. They'll tell you got hope when you ain't got nothing. They'll tell you something that ain't true. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful. That's like, for example, somebody hit me in the DM about Otisville. So I told him about Otisville. First of all, for those that don't know, Otisville got changed into a dropout yard, I think in 2013. So if you was in there claiming gang or whatever, they got you out of there. But really, you got yourself out of there because you was in there claiming gang. You told on yourself. You basically told them, I'm ganged up. So at the end of the day, they already had you what's called SRG. And when you're SRG, you're labeled for life. Everywhere you go, they already know you ganged up. Some people are smart. They banging, but they ain't saying nothing. Because at the end of the day, if you's a man, you can live anywhere. You don't gotta go where your peoples is at. You could go anywhere and live. You don't need comfortability. You just need to get to a place where you can do and take care of the things you gotta take care of. And I don't get me wrong now, you got real dudes in Otisville still. But they've been there since before it got turned. So why should they leave when they're comfortable? They already established, they already got their report with everyone that works there, whatever, and they doing good. So you're not going to tell them, you shouldn't be here with these dudes. No, they was there before them dudes came. So you can't tell them dudes that they wrong because they stay there, but the whole yard, majority of that whole jail is no good rats, child molesters, and all that. See what I'm saying? But like I said, it was only about maybe 2 handfuls of dudes that was right in there. Tut. Shout out King Tut, East New York. He's right. Lucky. Shout out Lucky from Flatbush. He's right. Shout out Scooter. Scooter, he right. Shout out Lou Hobbs. He was there for a little bit. He right. Shout out my man Stan. He right. Even Big Nat, as much as a pain in the ass as he was, he right. But I can't speak about nobody else. So when the dude was telling you, yo, I was in Otisville. First of all, in Otisville, you can't even check in because that's a PC yard. You can't check in a PC yard. How you do that? You had to check in somewhere else to get to that yard. So how can you get to that yard and check in? That don't make no sense. So when dudes start talking about Otisville, ask them why they was there. They was a victim. They was a victim somewhere. Somewhere they got smashed up, beat up, or whatever, and they kicked them out the yard and they sent them to the Otisville because that's where they had to go. That's what Otisville was made for. I heard right now they changing it back to the way it was before. Yeah, SRG. Yeah, that's what idiots that go in there and be like, yeah, I'm ganged up. Yeah, all right, you ganged up. You ain't got. Let me tell you, Otisville's right in New York. It's in Orange County. So you're not far away from seeing your family. All right? And it's one of them spots that's laid back. So a lot of people don't want to mess that up. You see what I'm saying? But majority of that jail is people that ain't no good. They no good. So when a person speaks and says that they was there, and you never even heard of them or know of them, yeah, they were a victim. They were a victim somewhere in another jail, and they sent them there. A lot of dudes. Bro. I remember I even was in a halfway house with dudes that was in there talking about, oh, I did this and this and this and that and the third. And when I ascertained the information, I found out that the reason they was really there was because they got smashed out in another jail. And they sent them there so that they could live. You see what I'm saying? Shout out Miss Playful in the building. What's up, Miss Playful? Dexter Isaac. The name sounds familiar. You see what I'm saying? So always be mindful of these things. And these are the things that a brother like SHOTTI that's going through the feds, this is one thing that he has to learn. He has to stay away from a lot of individuals. He has to stay away from the fake law library dudes. Because this is another thing that happens. For example, there was two dudes. There was bunkie in the cell. One dude was telling his bunkie about a body him and his girl caught like years ago. Right? And that dude went to SRG and told them, next thing you know, they gave that dude a case. And that dude that told on him, he had like 50 years or something. They cut it down to like 20-something or 30. He already had like 20-something years in. That's the type of things you're going to see in the feds. So that's why if I were him, I would be very careful who he's around, who he talks to. Because dudes there that's still working to this day. And because they still working, that's a danger. Because the feds is all full of yeah, that dude. Yeah, he was talking about Tut and all that. I know who you talk about. I didn't even heard of that dude. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful, or he has to be careful about the people he messes with in there. Let me tell you something. It was to the point in that Otisville spot where the New York dudes was putting their laundry with the rest of the people's bags, yo. I wasn't trying to hear that. So I started chasing dudes around down there in the laundry room. The New York dudes, and I'm not talking about Tutton, I'm talking about these other New York dudes. They was out there on some peace treaty shit. I wasn't out there no peace treaty. I'm saying this is New York jail, bro. I don't care what state them dudes. This is New York right here. We get first dibs. You in our town, bro. I don't care where you at. Even if you're the majority, you still in our town. You know, these are the things that he has to think about. Because a lot of people are going to be throwing stuff in his head. And at the same time, he's going to see the misery around him, the boredom. And then he's going to go to these jails where if he don't protect himself, he's going to end up caught up in other people's dramas. Those are the things that maybe he's thinking about now, or maybe anybody would think of. Anybody would probably think of those things right now. They just had a high-profile case. They had a high-profile snitch. Their freedom is gone. There's nothing more they can do. The world of lavish is gone. Now you're wearing a jumpsuit and you're running around commissary. You're watching TV to a certain time, lock in. That shit is over with. It's when you lock in that you start to think. You're laying in your bed and you're looking at the ceiling and you're saying, damn, man, I'm in here right now. Not too long ago, I was just in the crib popping bottles. I was doing my thing, yo. And you start to lash out on everybody. You start to say everybody did you wrong. That's part of the stress process. You know, the reason I mentioned about the appeal thing is because there's levels to it. But if your argument is only going to be ineffective assistance of counsel and you pled to the facts of the case and the lawyer is recusing himself, it doesn't look good, bro. Because the way they're looking at it is like, yo, how can this dude do that knowing that they could come back with some more? Salute that Sheena girl. How can that dude open a can of worms and we got snakes on the plane? You know, sometimes a wise man knows when to. Kenny Rogers had that song back in the days. You got to know when to hold, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, know when to run. Remember that song? You gotta know when to hold them. See what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't see. Got you, Mike Jones. You gotta know when to hold them, man. So you gotta count your blessings when you're sitting at the table. That's a fact, Miss Playful. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know these things, man, but you gotta watch the influences around you. Do not let the influences around you cause you to make a wrong move and you take a step towards your own demise. I'm telling you, I was in there. I was in there when DMX was in there, and I pulled DMX to the side one day. I told DMX, I said, yo, let me tell you something, bro. These dudes in here, they want to be your friend. They acting like they got love for you. But really, they would love to see you go down, bro. When DMX came in, I was in the microwave and he came in, but the CEO already told me that he was coming up. And he told me, he said, yo, man, I'm going to put him in here. I said, yo, I got him. The minute he came in, I was like, yo, I got you, bro. What's up? He said, yo, appreciate that, bro. But he didn't need me. Believe me, DMX was good. But everybody wanted to get close to him. Everybody wanted to get close to him. And they all wanted to see him do something detrimental to be able to talk bad about. And he didn't do it. DMX stood tall. Official. I took DMX with me and we started painting and all that. Facts. See what I'm saying? So, because like I told him myself, when I was in the box in Southport, and the porter had, I got the It's Dark and Hell's Hot tape. I used to be sitting in the cell like this, listening to that. And that got me through so many. That shit got me through so many days in the box. You know what I'm saying? They got me through so many days in the box. I told him, I said, your music got me through, yo. Your music got me through. Salute Junior's Towing. Salute, you're on to something with these legal lessons. Help these youth stay out, OG. Facts, Junior's Towing. That's such a fact, bro. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, the second one too. That's the one I heard when I got to Population. You see what I'm saying? Shout out CC in the building. Morris Smith. Kill Cat, was you wilding in the feds? Nah. I ain't gonna lie, I kept things in order, Morris Smith. I kept things in order. And anything I did, I got away with it. See what I'm saying? I was never the rah-rah type of dude. I was the type of dude that, for example, if you on my gallery and you making noise, I was the type of dude that come out my cell like, yo, y'all gotta shut the hell up, man. If y'all don't shut up, I'm gonna twist one of you stupid asses. Yes, that was the type of dude I was. I was the type of dude that, you know what I'm saying, like, we're waiting for the phone and you cut line on the phone I was coming to you like, yo, why are you cutting the line on the phone? You know you don't go right now. Oh, my bad. Yeah, that type of dude I was. But other than that, I kept to myself. I stayed in the law library. My thing was the law library. I had to do my own motions. I had to stay busy. I ain't had time to play poker. I ain't had time to do none of that. Shout out Miss Playful. Whoa, shout out Miss Playful in the building. Because I can and will. Watch me. Salute to you and Ladybug. Salute Miss Playful. Miss Playful in the building. Yeah, I love you, Miss. I love Miss Playful. Miss Playful is official. Yeah, she the girl, right? You know what I'm saying? So I utilize my time doing that. I will never come up here and lie and say I was wilding and all that. Nah, I wasn't wilding. I mean, I had to punch a few heads and stuff like that, but that was about it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't getting on it like, you know what I'm saying, like on some rah-rah stuff. Nah, that's never been my thing, man. Salute Miss Playful in the building. You know what I'm saying? That was never my thing, man. Why would you go to jail? Especially the feds. The state is something different. In the state, you get your good time back. In the state, you pop a dude top off, you get it right back. You go to time allowance committee and you fight for your time back. You know what I'm saying? In the feds, that's dead. Once you lose your good times, you done. So you got to make sure that if you're going to lose your good time, which means you're going to delay your freedom, it's got to be worth it. If not, you got to back off of it. You got to know when to hold. Yeah, all right. Yeah. I got you. There's too many cameras here. Too many cameras. I like being out in the street where there's a block with no camera on it. Where you get caught slipping coming in the building somewhere. Real deal. What's popping, bro? It's a difference. Some people don't think like that. They think so momentary that they don't know that what they basically doing is divulging their weakness. That's like you going to a halfway house. That's like you going to a halfway house and you get into something while in the halfway house. Imagine that. If you got drama with somebody in the halfway house, you don't beef or make faces or act like a buster inside the halfway house. You do that outside in the street when you see him in the street. That's where you do all that stuff at. Because if you're in the halfway house stunting and you know that there's cameras in there, and we're not talking about the physical cameras, we're talking about the walking ones too. You're the damn fool. And back to the spot you go. That's a fact, Junior's towing. These are the foolish things that when a brother comes through, he got to think of these things. This is what I would tell somebody that's about to go into the feds. You got to watch a lot of them stunting dudes that be in there. You can't transgress on them. Because if you do, then you mess up your time. And are they worth your time? Are they worth it? Are they really built like that when you're going to mess up your time for them? You see what I'm saying? Or you're going to say, all right, all that. We in the street now. We in the street now. Now what? That's where it changes at. See what I'm saying? These are the things that a person needs to think of instead of being misguided by those. You know, because when you go to court and you make a plea, you're pleading guilty and you're saying that you're guilty of what they're accusing you of. Because when you go to court, they develop what's called an accusatory instrument. In the feds, they call it either a sealed complaint or a verified complaint. So a lot of times, some people might be in a sealed complaint. A sealed complaint could have been a complaint that's been in action for a little bit of a time. And then they gathered enough evidence to say, we got it, let's go. We going in. We taking anybody down now. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be aware of these things. You got to be aware of those things, because at the end of the day, if you're not aware of those things, they're gonna hit you like a left hook that you ain't see. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta be aware of those things. Those things are very vital. Those are the things I would tell somebody that's about to get locked up and go inside into the feds, y'all. It's a fact. Separations. Yeah, they got separation. Yeah, they got separations where they put you over here, put this dude over there. Yeah, they got all that. They got all that. They'll separate. But in the feds, a lot of times, they keep all the co-defendants together, except the one that's telling. Okay. Shout out Crazy JoJo 1335 in the building somewhere around here. I think he in here somewhere. I could have sworn I saw him. But those are the things that I would tell somebody if they're going into the feds. And Crazy JoJo, I see you now. You know, those are the things I would tell somebody. And be careful with the jailhouse lawyers that are only after your bread. Who's going to make these frivolous motions. You see what I'm saying? So, once again, you got your direct attack, which is your direct appeal. You got a rehearing and Banc. And then you got the Court of Appeals. After that, you got one thing left. It's called a collateral attack. And that's a 2255. Sheena girl. So what I was saying is, I don't really know all the facts with why SHOTTI put his appeal in. But what I'm breaking down right now is that in from what I hear, because I saw like two different documents today on two different podcasts. I saw one on Jack Frost and I saw one on Crown TV. And he kept it short too, because he was like, he don't have enough information either. So respect to them brothers. But what I'm saying is, I'm surmising in a case of, or in a situation like his case, Crown Prince. In a situation like his case, if you allocate it to the facts, which is what the feds make you do, because in a state, you can either allocate to the facts or allocate to the charge. Allocating to the facts means the judge is going to say, do you, Ronald Banks, certify today that on such and such date, you on this block discharged a firearm and did this, that, and the third. and you're going to say, yes, sir. Right there, you just allocated to the facts. Those are the facts. So you can file an appeal after accepting the deal. I'm about to get into that right now. So that's allocating to the facts. And then you have, like it's happened before, where they would do you plead guilty today to the charge of assault in the first degree, and you say yes. And then he sentences you. You didn't allocate to the facts. And that's when somebody said about an Alford plea. An Alford plea is like that, where you don't agree, but you take the time. Basically, you're saying, I don't believe I'm guilty, but I don't see me winning, so I'm going to take the time. So it's an Alford plea because you're not admitting guilt. You're still saying, you're still pronouncing your innocence, but you're willing to take the deal. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. And shout out Miss Playful. She said, I got to get back to work, but let me put a fat ass cherry on top. Salute to you and Ladybug. Good night, everyone. Salute Miss Playful in the building. I'll tell you, boy, Miss Playful lets her presence be known. For real. And salute everybody in the chat. Man, I see a lot of good people in the chat, man, today. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Salute Miss Playful in the building. But yeah, so now there is certain circumstances where you can appeal your, where you can appeal your plea. But I'm telling you, it's an uphill battle. You see what I'm saying? It's an uphill battle because the three things that they look for, either was you coerced, were you under the influence, or do you have evidence that if anybody would have known at the time when the case was about, could have changed the outcome? Look at Kev. Hey, yo, Kev, I'm coming, yo. I'm coming for you, Kev. Watch. You know what I'm saying? You got to know those things. Appreciate you, Kev. You got to know those things, yo. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want, if the scenario is the way people are saying, I don't want him to, if somebody's in this chat that has communication with SHOTTI or anything like that, y'all need to brainstorm with him and see what he's thinking. What's making him think, that way? From my experience, it could be one of them jailhouse lawyers in there. And I'm going to tell you right now, he needs to really look at the situation. I tell that to anybody, though. You see, when I came through, my model was I don't take pleas. No plea deals. You know what I'm saying? I don't take no plea deals. I go straight to trial, which is what I did. No, and I did majority of my bid. I did it down in the spots down in the city. You know what I'm saying? I only went to Canaan, and then I went to Otisville for a couple of months. I was there for maybe like 5 months, 6 months. It's gone. Like I said, I stood there because of Tut. That's my man. But other than that, jail ain't no good. But I'm saying that because if somebody's communicating with him, you got to make sure that he's not being, how you say, aroused by these type of people. He needs to go. I would tell him, my advice for him or for anybody that's in the feds that's got sentenced and feels a certain way, shepherdize your case. And this is how you shepherdize your case. The way you shepherdize your case is you get the charge that you're charged with. You type it into the query, and other people that had those similar charges, their cases are going to pop up. Now what you do after that is that you look at the strategies that the lawyers implemented when they had those cases. I can almost guarantee to you that majority of those cases, they were all pleas. I saw a lot of indictments go through there. A lot. I saw a lot of indictments go through there, and most everybody pleads. They got no choice because they're going to turn one or two heads into rats. And those two rats, they're going to use them one by one to take everybody else down. So you got no choice in the matter. When you have a rat in your case, you need to take what you can and move. Because you don't know the danger of that rat. You don't know what they have. They don't know still. See what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. So the main thing that you got to do is you got to study your cases. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shepherdize, man. You gotta take your own self, go onto the computer, and in the search box, put in the because in the feds it's by numbers. So for example, Hobbs Act will be 1951. 922 GEI is in the second, something like that, is discharging. 922 G regular is just possession of a firearm. For example, if you have a case where a firearm was used, right? They're not going to charge you with a regular 922G, which is just a felon in possession of a firearm that came over interstate commerce. They're going to charge you with possession, discharging a weapon that came over interstate commerce. Discharge. So you can actually get an enhancements for that. Because one thing the feds do, they give you enhancements. They give you enhancement on your past. They give you enhancement, like, for example, if you got a gun and the serial number scratched, you get 4 points for that. If you got a gun and it's loaded, you get points for the ammunition. And if you got 3 felonies or 3 violent felonies or 2 violent felonies and 1 drug felony, they can hit you with the what's called Armed Career Criminal Act, ACCA. That's when they smack you with everything, and your minimum is 15 years. That's just your minimum. So what I would say to people is, don't mess around. Don't mess around. If they got you, they got you, yo. Because if you open up a can of worms, I'm telling you now, they're gonna come through with a whole bunch of other stuff that you ain't even think they had. And they got a rat. They got a rat. At the end of the day, he's gonna be like, yo, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm already in the game. That you did this, you did that, and the third. We didn't speak about that because they were never brought up, and I felt guilty already for what I was doing. But now they're gonna come at me again, and I'm still working. Now I gotta give them the rest that I didn't give them to them because I thought the case was over, and you over here opening the can of worms. Gotta think like your enemy so that you can understand the future. That's the way you got to think. If you don't think that way, then everything's going to catch you by surprise. You want to make sure you're ready for what comes. So you got to play the role of your enemy, understand his mind, and then go back to yourself and learn how to counter. So after his appeals, he has what's called a 2255. That's all he has left. After that, that's it. Ain't nothing else. You could put in a writ, a sedatory, and all the other stuff. That goes to the Supreme Court. And when you go to the Supreme Court, you know, I mean, it depends on the judges. A lot of those judges are old as hell, man. They're in their 70s and 80s. Out of them, majority of them, they're all up in their 70s and up.
Brad Hauser wants to know, is discharging your weapon in city limits an extra charge?
Discharging anywhere is not an extra charge, it's an enhancement in the feds. When I say enhancement is you could get a regular, for example, you got the state sovereignty and you got the federal sovereignty, right? There are charges in the feds that aren't chargeable offenses in the state. So a state can't use that charge against you because it's not a chargeable offense in the state. You see what I'm saying? Shout out Miss Playful. Shout out Miss Playful in the building. Appreciate you, Miss Playful. See what I'm saying? So if you get picked up for a state crime, for example, you get picked up for you had a fight in the street. They look up on your record and they see that you went to the feds for felon in possession charge. They can't use that charge against you in the state because there's no such charge in the state. For example, a gun charge in the state is by the intent. So they would say 265.303 is possession of a weapon outside your home or place of business, or possession of a weapon in second degrees with intent to use unlawfully against another uses such weapon, bang, 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 bang. And the feds, you're not getting charged for the intent. In the feds, you're getting charged because you had a felony and because that gun traveled over interstate commerce, meaning it came over across a line. So if you're in New York and you get caught with a gun or you discharge a gun, there's no gun manufacturers in New York. So they'll smack you with a 922G and say you were in possession of a weapon that traveled over interstate commerce. But there's no such charge in the state of that. So the state can't use a chargeable offense that's not chargeable under state sovereignty. It only could be state chargeable offenses. The same way in the feds, if you have assault and the definition of the assault that you got states on such and such date, Tyrone caused serious physical injury by recklessly engaging in conduct that word reckless is not a chargeable offense in the feds. So if you got that type, if you have a reckless assault, they can't use it. They can't use it against you. Because the federal sovereignty and the state sovereignty, although most of it is alike, they still have different charges that either or can't use. So they can't, in the feds, they can't use a reckless assault against you. That's a no-no. The same way in the state, they can't use a 922G against you. That charge doesn't exist over there. So all these things come from what? Yeah, Julius Torn. So all these things say what? There's loopholes and everything, man. But I'm gonna tell you straight up. When you got, you got. If you can fight it, I tell you straight up, fight to the end. I did. But if they got you in the got, like Kenny Rogers said, you got to know when to hold them. Maple Syrup said, I've paid lawyers more and gotten less info. Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. I felt so ashamed when I was in the feds with the way the lawyer system was, because I ain't gonna lie, like they scared to win. It's like they act scared to win. They don't want to win. They just want to do their job. See, there's a difference between doing your job and wanting to win. You know what I'm saying? Salute, Kitty Ed. Appreciate you. That's a fact, Julius Tolan. I'm telling you, all 7 lawyers came to me. Oh, this judge this judge that, this, that, and the third. They play all the spooky stories. Yo, here nobody wins. Blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, I'm looking at them like this. Man, listen, yo. We're going to trial. You know what? You're fired. Beat your feet. Oh, I don't know who you think you are. I know who I know I am. I know you need to beat your feet up out of here. I don't need you. I kept doing that over and over and over again until I said, yo, I don't trust no lawyer. I don't want no lawyer. I had to do all the work myself. And I'm telling you right now, for those that was there with me, I had a typewriter, my own typewriter in my cell. And this is what I did all day. All day. Typing. Typing. That's why I was on it. Because I stay up late typing and studying. And sometimes I come out my cell and you got these dudes outside playing poker on my gallery making mad noise. Yo, get up out of here with that before I twist this whole table. I don't care who y'all is, who y'all down with, race, none of that. I don't care about none of that. My hands is bisexual. So is my razor. Get up off my gallery. Don't come on my gallery. That was it. And I continue to do my typing. Same way if I was by the law library machine and you got dudes over here talking too much and moving around my back too much. I don't like that. You're moving around my back. Yo, go in the gym or something. Go watch TV over there. Why you running around here? I appreciate you, Julius Towan. Said, preach, y'all listen, he knows his stuff. That's a fact. I've been studying law for 20-something years. I don't want Article 78s. I don't want my own appeal. In the state and in the feds, I did my thing all the way through. I did my thing all the way through in the feds. Shout out to Miss Playful. Miss Playful's in the building. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, if you take the time and you sit down and you study, maybe you see something, but that's what your mentality's got to be on. You got to be on it hard. Nobody knew about a rehearing in Banc. Everybody thought that once your appeal gets denied, you got to put in a cert. Dimitri, I bought a house and there is a Mexican hood apartment across the street. I got a jury trial coming up for 2 disorderly conducts in February. Frivolous case. Okay, Demetrius. He said, I bought a house and there is Mexican hood apartments across the street. I got a jury trial coming up for 2 disorderly conducts in February. Frivolous case. Oh yeah, you ain't gonna get nothing for those. You probably get time served or community service. You all right, you straight. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Dimitri. But you gotta have your mentality on that type of time. Because a lot of time what happens is dude goes in there and they start playing poker. They start hanging with these dudes in the bathroom, smoking that K2, that poison. But those who don't know, if you smoke K2, use a dub. If you smoke K2, use a dub. I don't care about, but I'm in the feds and this is what I gotta do because if you smoke K2, use a dub. So anybody that gets locked up and wants to bring up a motion for ineffective assistance of counsel after they already pled guilty to the facts has an uphill battle, yo. Has an uphill battle, I'll tell you that much, man. But it doesn't mean that they ain't got hope. But in certain situations, it's an uphill battle. And you got to know how to pick your enemies, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to pick your enemies and you got to know how to beat them. Don't pick an enemy and you don't know how to beat them. Maple to Zero. Sad thing, I know guys get in trouble, spend all their time inside studying to beat the case, get out and catch a new charge and start studying again. The system has revolving doors, sadly. Yes. 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 Facts, G's up. Facts, yo. Facts. You know, it doesn't make no sense to study something only to help yourself and then go back to the same situation again. I think that's more on the person himself because everyone blames everybody else but themselves a lot of time for certain situations. You see what I'm saying? He said the banana pudding and the bean pie. Yo, I was so on it, man, that I ate kosher in there. I ate nothing but kosher meals, yo. I didn't even want my food unless it was wrapped, sealed. I ain't want nothing from the mess hall. I ain't want none of that. I wanted my food sealed. Money Miles, salute Money Miles. Appreciate you, bro. He says, salute, brother. I like what you're doing. Keep elevating. I appreciate you, bro. So I tell people, listen, when you have your freedom, use it to the fullest, man. There's a lot of opportunity. But remember that for every action, there's a reaction. So if you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing and you put yourself in a situation, your reaction is supposed to be, okay, I'm here, I can't change it, so I got to make the best of the situation while I'm here, because this is not forever. I still got light at the end of the tunnel. That's how you got to do it, yo. Talk about putting 12 in a box versus taking a plea. Salute, Dimitri. Putting 12 in a box. Yeah, if you take a plea, I mean, you know, if you take a plea, then you take a plea, but, you know, if you got to do 12 in a box, shish. I mean, I did 9 years in the box, straight. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to put yourself. Now, imagine, you take a plea deal, and then you go in there, and now you in the box. You took the plea deal because you knew you had no wins, but you're still trying to go home. But then you in there, and you end up in the box. And then they taking away your good time. Oh, 12 in a box, jury trial. Oh. Now, here's another thing about that jury trial. Y'all want to know something about that jury trial? Yeah, I saw it, Kev. I called him about that, too. Yeah, I called him about that earlier. He said he just playing, you heard? But I called him on that. But yeah, so you got to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? Tone Cobain. Tone Cobain just sent me something. He onto something there. Hey, okay. Hey, yo, Kevin started some shit, man. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, I just want people to always think about these things, man. You know, I want people to think about these things, man. You know, because that situation is not a unique situation. Yeah, I know he was drunk. He told me he was. Thank you, Miss Playful. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Best Style in the building. It's my dude right there, Best Style. Yeah. All that's coming on honorable mentions. I'm actually working on that now with a producer. Oh man, I see you in the chat going crazy. Hold up, I gotta concentrate here. The chat is going wild right now. That's Kevin. But yo, I mean, I just want people to think about this, man. You gotta concentrate on getting out of the situation you put yourself into. And the way you do that is that you concentrate your mind on building and making itself stronger, so that you don't fall victim like everybody around you is. Because one thing you're gonna see up in the feds is a lot of weak dudes, man. You're gonna see them suicide watch. You're gonna see them all over the place. You're gonna see a lot of weak dudes, man. You're gonna see a lot of dudes that they can't handle the situation. And then you're gonna see one or two dudes that can. But your observation has to be on what? Your case. From day one, when I came in there, I was in that law library. I was asking questions. I was trying to figure things out. And that's how I got better and better and better. G's up, I hear the feds full of rats. Oh, that's a fact. Only in the feds you're going to hear somebody say, yo, I'm a rat, but I still get busy. You're going to hear that in there. I'm a rat, but I still get busy. There's a lot of telling in the feds. You crazy? A lot of telling in the feds. Yeah, I did 9 years, homie. 9 years in the box. 23-hour lockdown. Straight. It's a fact. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that you're going to go through. So if a person wants to challenge their plea and they're saying they got ineffective assistance of counsel, you got to put in a 2255. But the case that you need to read is Circular versus Washington. You need to take that case, break it down, and then you'll see the strategy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you need to figure out. What's the strategy? It's the strategy that you need to see. Yeah, 9 years, yeah. You know what I used to do in them 9 years? Read. There was times I bugged out a little bit, you know what I'm saying, just to have fun. I had Mario Machete next to me for a couple of years. I had Caballo. For those who don't know who Caballo is, he was the founder of the Trinitarios. I had him next to me for about 2 years too. I had a couple of good dudes around me, and I had some terrible dudes around me too. But I had to overcome those situations by when they bang, that's when I sleep. When they sleep, that's when I read. So I program myself that I'm not sleeping unless I hear people banging and kicking on the gate. That's when I went to sleep. And then when they got quiet and tired from yelling and banging and cursing, and they fell asleep, that's when I got up to read. G's up. That's a scary individual, a rat and a live wire. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's kind of bugged out. But you got them in there, and they tell you themselves. Yo, I'm a rap, but I still get busy. Yeah, you get that in there a lot. You got people in there that they think that because they talk to some, for example, this is what they do in there. A dude is a stand-up dude. He got a name. Everybody respect him. Dead Arm in the building. What's popping, Dead Arm? I miss you, bro. Where you been at? So everybody respects him. A clown dude that's clout chasing, he gonna try to disrespect him. He gonna get mashed out. When he go to the box, they gonna tell him, yo, what happened? He's either gonna tell him what happened and they gonna kick him out of there, or they gonna leave him in the box and he gonna stay in the jail. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, King Air. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna go in there after they smashed him up. He's gonna be like, I don't know nothing. I don't know what happened. All right, you don't know what happened? Nah. All right. You're gonna do your little box time. We're gonna put you right back out in the yard. Or he gonna be like, yeah, I had a fight with him because of him, but it's all good. Blah, 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 blah. I ain't scared. No. It's too late. Cut that I ain't scared part off because you just gave them enough information for them to get rid of you and send you to another jail. You just told. Stop playing. It's a wrap. You see what I'm saying? Man, okay. It's all right. You be all right. You tough, right? Camo voice. R&D pack. That's a fact. Hey, yo, Junior's Tone be knowing his stuff too, yo. look at Made okay. But yo, I'm just keeping it funky for real. Ain't no need in line. That people clout chase in the feds a lot. Because they the dudes that in the state ain't have no name. See, the feds is the second chance for dudes in the state that didn't have a name. They come to the feds to get a name because it's easier in the feds than it is in the state. I see Junior's towing. That's how it be. Hey yo, man, no King, you shooting? Hey, no King, shooting over here. Jay Breezy, Five Borough, what's popping? Yo, bro, which state has more rats in the feds? That's crazy, yo. That's a good question. That's a good question, Best Star. That's a good question. But I can tell you this much. I've seen a rat in every state. Yeah, they can't hide because it's on the call out every day. The separation list. Hey, yo, Junior's Tone be knowing. Yo, who wrote that? Hold on. Who wrote that? That was Junior's Tone? They can't hide because it's on the call ad. It's on the call out. There's some people that got no movement because they tell it. So they can't move them around the jail. So they can't go to church services, none of that. They got to stay in their unit. That is such a fact. Lower F. Hardy, Clinton. Ooh, okay. It's almost similar in the state. In the state, you get the change sheet from the transfer and the people that's going on the draft. So you know who came in and you know who's leaving. In the feds, the call-out sheet, you'll see that one person will get a special move, which means that when everybody else is moving, when they're finished, then they'll move him by himself. Yeah, I know. James Kills. Yeah, I hunted two of them. They don't come through no more, James Kill. See, I don't be playing with them trolls. I subscribe to their channels. And once the notification comes up, I'm like, okay, let me see where he at. He can't shut the notification off because I'm subscribed to him. He or she gotta unsubscribe me in order for me not to be able to follow them. By that time, what they do is they make another fake page. Laundry guy had the list. Yes. Is it in FCI Mariana? And it's nowhere to be found. Yeah. That's a fact. You know where they going. You know when they coming. You know why they can't move. All that. Then you got dudes that be all in the same indictment. But you got some dudes that got separate court dates. That's fishy too. Some people ask for what's called severance, where they take themselves away from the rest of the people in their indictment. That's a fact, Kasim. In downstate, they tell you. They tell you. Separate T's. That's a fact, Julius told me. I got people that know their stuff in here. So I just want everybody to know, man, that you can't, there's different types of appeals. Like I said, you got your direct appeal. You know what I mean? That's the first step. Your direct appeal is your appeal after you've been sentenced. After that, you got a rehearing and bank, depending on if you lose your appeal or not. After that, then you got to do a cert. After that, what you got left is a 2255. If you put a 2255 in prematurely, they could deny your 2255 and wait to the outcome from when you exhaust your remedies. For those who don't know what exhaust your remedies are, exhausting your remedies, when you exhaust your remedies, is when you go through the channels to try to resolve the problem, and it still hasn't been solved. Salute Pistol Pete. So where do they use the 2241? I believe the 2241. I think I did a 2241 too. Hold up. If I'm correct, I did a 2241. Let me look at my motions, because I have a thing with my motions on there. I did do a 2241. And yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. So a 2241 petition, also known as a petition for a writ of habeas corpus, is a civil lawsuit filed by federal prison to challenge the legality or her custodies. So a 2241, they denied my 2241 because it was premature. I put it in too early. So a 2241 is like, for example, if, for example, you're 2255, because you got to look at 2255A, 2255, you got to look at the letters and the meanings behind where you could submit a 2255 at. But then sometimes there isn't one. So you could challenge, for example, in the 2255, you could challenge ineffective assistance of counsel and everything like that. 2241 is when you're challenging the legality. You're saying that your sentence is illegal, period. So it could be a variety of things. But you got to prove how those variety of things coincide with an illegal sentence. So a 2255 is a collateral attack of the facts of the case and what the lawyer did or did not do. And a 2241 state that you're being held illegally because you were sentenced illegally. So you go put in a 2255 and then afterwards put in 2241. But a lot of times you got to be careful because the way the courts will do it is when you put the 2255 in, yeah, you do the 2255 first, then the 2241. But remember, when you do the 2255, the decision in that 2255, if you're going to re-argue again in the 2241, what you argued in the 2255, they're probably going to shoot you down. So you got to come up with another, besides the same thing that you said already in 2255, you got to come up with another angle. See what I'm saying? So, yo, you got to remember that part right there too. But yo, it's about that time. And we need to get grooving again, man. So hold on. We need to get grooving again. I ain't gonna lie. That's exactly what we gonna do. And I want to know where everybody's from right now. Y'all ready? Oh, wait a minute. Hey, yo, Nitro, stay here because I'm about to put that joint on. Ghost Town in the building. The Bronx is in the building. Brownsville, Brooklyn's in the building. Shout it out. 206 Seattle's in the building. Columbus, Ohio, 614. Staten Island's in the building. Canada's in the building. 301 Maryland's in the building. BX stand up. Boston's in the building. LES is in the building. Soundview's up in here. West Baltimore up in here. Carmine and Alley Boy. Church Ave. Pickett and Sutter. Brooklyn. Lawrence, Massachusetts. Edmonton, Canada. 780. Los Angeles. That's a fact. West Side. Newark, New Jersey. Flatbush, BK. BX in the building. Church Ave. Flatbush, Brooklyn. Let's talk about it in the building. Hunts Point. LES, The Hill in the building. 212 Greensboro. 183rd, you heard? Florida. East New York. 313 in the building. VA 757. Best Eye, Sunset Park, Bushwick. Puerto Rico's in the building. MGM Casino, Washington, D.C. is in the building. C95, Coney Island's in the building. Billy to the Murder, Harlem is in the building. 757, Virginia, Norfolk, checking in. Gates Ave, Best Style, Red Style, you already know. Long time. 781 to 978. 196 in Marion. 917. Perf and Boys in the building. Hold up, wait a minute. I was looking for you, Suge Bryant.
I just like the sound.
305, First Capital 48 in the building. Central Bookings in the building. That's crazy. Toronto, Canada is in the building. Shout out Toronto. Lawrence, Massachusetts. Miss Playful's in the building. Killer Kev is in the building. 21st in Church. And CK in the building. Delaware's in the building. Tompkins and Troop. Hold up, I gotta see. I almost forgot about yeah, Nitro. I almost forgot, but I got you right now. Yo, Nitro, where did you send it to? Because I know I got it. No, he sent it to me. I think he sent it to my email. Let me see. It's lit.
He said check your Gmail.
It's in my Gmail. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. There it is. Check it.
You know what, nigga? You act like a little bitch right now. You act real paranoid and shit.
This Nitro active right here.
In front of you, nigga. You was hanging off in front of your face. You ain't gonna do shit. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride. We gonna go ahead and smoke all these motherfuckers out there. Who the fuck out there? God damn it. Shoot them, nigga.
Hey, yo. Yellow Boy. Wanna see a dead body? Nitro. Active. Hybrid. Just got a call from my nigga Red. Told me that he got another bag if I leave him dead. I'm a contract killer, let's talk about it. Big John put the price on his fucking head. On the mic, my head.
Shout out Fernando Mayo.
So many niggas ain't no conscious singing.
Eagles fan, huh?
I don't do flesh wounds, I only hit arteries. This girl's going wild, yellow dick, so fast, nigga don't want a problem with me. Shout out Wildcat, we gon' drag her to the Wildkat'S way. Eating food is a policy. If I ain't the greatest of all time, bet your bottom dollar I'm the prodigy. Swear to God, I'm the one, I'm the golden child. We can do this shit all night, got 100 styles. This nigga shot a video sipping lean. He was just trying to show off the double cup. This what happen when a young nigga stupid as fuck. And he don't know who he is, so he trying to suck. A nigga who do anything just for acceptance, even if it kill you when your kids neglected. This yellow bitch hate on every post. I swear to God, he won't let me breathe.
Shout out Killer Kev, he riding around.
Fucking leave. Tell a nigga smack, he get no respect. Just without me, the
Salute,
nigga get
salute, Melinda Castro.
This nigga so big, your little boy, you fit right through your fucking chest. I applaud you for showing up. This nigga made it to his funeral. We can both agree that at once. But ain't shit about his
Banc is counter, shout out.
Too crazy delivery.
Appreciate you, bro.
Shit up just to keep you waiting. Get innovation, visualize in your face to the pavement. If you had a career that's slow, go erase it. This nigga SoundCloud, mama rap basic. I'm Jay-Z, rap city in the basement. Bitch from the south, he gon' walk it out. If he come to LAX, I'ma talk
Kev
about.
looking for that food, huh?
We talking about. I'm like, God, you little rap niggas. Next time, watch your fucking mouth. Nitro, little bitch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was Nitro Active right there. Shout out Nitro Active coming through with the tracks, you know what I'm saying? Definitely coming through with the tracks. I liked it, that joint. But you know what time it is, right?
I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believes that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything. Anybody or anything. Anybody or anything. Anybody or anything.
I got you, Nitro Active. You already know. Shout out Cornmeal. Go check out Cornmeal. Put that like button. Hit that like button. It's a fact. We in the ride, we in the whip right now, you know what I'm saying? Playing nothing but that fire. I'm telling you, when that album come out, y'all gonna see. They better watch out. I'm coming with a 6 to 9 punch combo. They gonna be like, damn. Salute everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you. Oh yeah, I got it.
Rock Legion.
I don't worry. I tell you,
I'm
I'm
saying?
a man who believes that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Anybody or anything. Let's get it. We're gonna holler, Stretch Money. Hey yo, KK, I see you. Hey yo, KK got me dying over here. Yeah, they liking this joint, right? It's okay. I'm being shot. Look, what's
Rock Legion.
Salute everybody. I'm out. I love y'all. Thank everybody for coming through. Tomorrow we'll be back. And tomorrow we'll be coming back for more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Crazy. Keep the pressure.
Check that joint out. Check that joint out in the morning. This morning I put a poem up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to pull one up every morning so that when everybody get up, you know what I'm saying? Everybody get up with some good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Check out the link. Ladybug got the link up right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Check that joint out too, bro. Yeah, I love all of y'all, man. I appreciate everybody that came through, man. Let's always keep it real. Let's always keep it right. You know what I'm saying? And let's save the youth, and let's save our people, man, that's out there in the struggle, man. Let's show them a way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some individuals hit me up for jobs. You know what I'm saying? I got you on that, man. I got you. I also tomorrow I want to show everybody how to get jobs. I think people don't know how to get jobs, so I want to show you how to do it, man. Since I've been home, I don't work like four jobs already. You know what I'm saying? So it's not hard, and they've all been high-paying jobs. So I'll just say like this, man. I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's a little method to the way you do it, man. Some people looking in one area, but they know they can do other things, and instead of solidifying your mentality to just one area, you need to broaden the scope up, man, so you got a little bit more opportunities, man. I'm gonna show you that tomorrow, man. You know what I mean? Dead Arm, I love you, bro. Stay up. Brad Hauser, you already know you my dude. I fucks with you, Brad Hauser. Shattered, I appreciate you. DJ Shook Brian up. DJ Shook Brian somewhere up in here. I appreciate you. Yeah, honorable mention. I help people get jobs. I show people how to do it. Facts, DJ Shook Brian in the building. Yeah, send me the list. Dead Arm. Send the list to my messenger. I go, let's get these people some jobs, man. Let's get them making some money, getting that check at the end of the week, man. You know what I'm saying? So that we keep them out here instead of having them or somebody send them to do something stupid and then they go to jail. And then the dude be out here talking about, yeah, that's my dude, but you ain't even putting nothing in this commissary. So let's make sure that we have them making their own money, give them responsibility. I know when I grew up, I had I stayed having jobs. My grandmother had me raking leaves and cleaning the backyard, but every time I finished and she gave me that $20 bill, I went straight to the store and I had everything that everybody else didn't have. You know what I mean? So remember that one. So salute to everybody and stay up, man. I love y'all. I'm out.